Hello, it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Welcome to Thursday Night Stamp Therapy. I'm so happy you are joining me. Tonight is going to be a little bit different than normal. First of all, I'm just not feeling great tonight. I almost canceled on you, but I thought that I would just take the opportunity to have more of a low-key chat and stamp tonight. I'm having some vertigo, which just started this morning, and I think it's like an inner ear thing, and it's just really made me feel kind of lousy all day. I've had a big to-do list and nearly nothing got done, so that also meant I didn't get a chance to prepare projects, which is a great excuse to do a kit. I love our Stampin' Up! Kit collections because they are great when you just don't feel the creative mojo to design your own projects. And we have so many. So tonight I'm going to give you a peek at one that's on the last chance list. I'm also going to give you a peek at some of the new kits and a peek at a brand new upcoming kit that I'm super excited about. Thank you so much, Heather, for your prayers. I am hoping I did this little maneuver thing, and I'm hoping that that helps the situation. But it's just like whenever you have vertigo, it's often paired with like that nausea, and it's just not a good situation. So we'll see. It may be a little bit shorter of a video. We are going to make the cards in this kit tonight, but I wanted to not miss the live with you because I wanted to chat about some changes that are happening that you may have heard of, especially if you are a demonstrator. You definitely saw that announcement on the Demonstrator website. There was an email that went out to demonstrators as well. And if you're not a demonstrator, they kind of left it up to demonstrators to share the news. So I'm going to share tonight if you haven't heard. Looking for my scissors. They were not... Oh, they're hiding. Okay, I do have scissors. Okay, so if you're just joining, I did link up in the chat and the video description as well. I linked up the video from Stampin' Up! Discussing the changes. So there are three major changes coming up in the product offering. And the first one, which kind of hinges on everything else, is that they are going to discontinue red rubber cling stamps. And if you've been stamping for a long time with Stampin' Up! Or other companies, you know, like way back when, we used to have rubber stamps that were on foam blocks, rubber stamps that were on wood blocks, and then we had rubber stamps that were cling. And by cling, we're talking about the special cling adhesive that's on the back and allows the stamps to stick really nicely to the clear block. So it is these red rubber stamps that are being discontinued. And the largest reason for that is the supply issues that they've been having, specifically sourcing the rubber. And this has been a problem for several years. It's just becoming an increasingly hard problem. I think it was, I think it started around COVID with the supply chain issues that everybody was having, but the red rubber has just continued to be an issue for Stampin' Up! To source. And so they've made the decision to discontinue, not only because the red rubber is getting harder to source, but also because the sale of red rubber stamps is lower compared to photopolymers. People prefer photopolymer stamps, which are the clear stamps that you can see through, because they are easier to position, they are easier to use, easier to stamp with, easier to line up. Now, I definitely do think that the image quality of a rubber stamp is superior to photopolymer, but I absolutely love the perks of photopolymer stamps and being able to line them up. So I have always loved both. I certainly will miss having red rubber stamps, but Stampin' Up! Is going to have the same type of images. They'll just do them all in photopolymer now instead of cling. And that change is going to happen sort of phased in through this year. We're going to start seeing it with the November online exclusive release, and all of the stamps starting in November, all the new ones are going to be photopolymer only. I want to also say that a lot of these product changes have come with lots of many years of research and planning, and also demonstrator feedback. And I think photopolymer is definitely one of those things where they're listening to demonstrator and customer feedback. And we have had situations where they've had a stamp set or two that have been available in both photopolymer and red rubber cling. And it was pretty clear, pun intended, which people preferred to stamp with. Okay, so the first announcement is that we're getting rid of the red rubber. Okay, so we're not going to see any new stamps come out in red rubber. All new stamps starting in November, not in September, because there's still going to be some red rubber already coming out in September, but starting in November, only photopolymer. And then in April, for sure, we're going to phase out all the rubber stamps and they'll stop producing them. Okay, so because of the change in discontinuing the red rubber, that has led to two other changes. One of them is the Stampin' Right markers. Now we have two different kinds of markers. I'm going to put this kit over here on hold while I'm sharing our news here. Okay. Okay. I was grabbing some of the Stampin' Blends. Okay, so the Stampin' Right markers are the water-based dye ink. These were the first kind of markers we had. And it's funny because they just redid these markers when they came out with this beautiful brush tip and this new fine tip, which is so great for writing and journaling. And so the Stampin' Right markers are available in all of the Stampin' Up colors by color family. So you can get the set of brights, you can get the regals, you can get the in colors, you can get the neutrals. And then we also have the Stampin' Blends, and these are the alcohol markers. And again, sales and surveying demonstrators and customers have found that people greatly prefer the Stampin' Blend markers for coloring, and that people don't use the Stampin' Right markers as much as they used to. And honestly, I'm in that boat. I almost never use my Stampin' Right markers. I just kind of forget about them. So the Stampin' Right markers are being moved to the last chance list as of right now. They're in there right now. They'll be available while supplies last. So if you love the Stampin' Right markers, please go grab them. You'll want to have all the colors and you'll enjoy having those to use, and they last for a long time. So there's nothing to be sad about because you can get the markers and use them. And moving forward, we're only going to have Stampin' Blends as a marker choice. Okay, I did promise I was going to answer your questions, and so I'm going to try to keep up and do that. Let's see. Beth says, I wonder if they will drop the Stays On ink since it's not advised to use on photopolymer. That was actually one of the FAQs that Stampin' Up posted about with the Stays On ink. I don't like to use Stays On with photopolymer because it does tend to stain and it's a solvent ink. I don't think it mixes well with the photopolymer. I think it makes it really sticky and you don't get a great stamp image. So personally, I use the Memento black ink with photopolymer, but Stampin' Up did advise that you can use Stays On ink with photopolymer. They advise using the Stays On cleaner very soon after you stamp to clean the photopolymer stamps. And so to me, it sounds like they will continue to carry Stays On and Stays On cleaner to use with the photopolymer stamps, although I personally don't advise using it with photopolymer stamps. And Mesa's asking about the distinctive stamps in photopolymer. I know, I really do like that about the red rubber stamps, although I think we do have some distinctive stamps or very similar sort of style with the photopolymer, and I think you're going to be able to get all the same kind of images. They're not going to be exactly the same. Ink just pulls differently on the photopolymer as it does on the red rubber. And so there are going to be some differences. It's not going to be exactly the same, but I do think that they plan to produce all of the different kinds of stamps in photopolymer, including distinctive and including background stamps. Ooh, soup for dinner, Sharon. That sounds good. I was just thinking it's getting close to being soup season. Still a little bit warm, but we had some cooler weather this morning and it gave me some hope for fall. I like to use them for coloring on stamps before stamping. Okay, so that is sort of like the main technique that people still do with the Stampin' Right markers. Janice is saying that she likes to use the markers to color on the stamps and get the different colors. And so, like, for example, you can do that with this flower stamp. Let me put this on a block that's actually big enough for it. And you can color different colors or omit part of the stamp. So let's make this a poppy parade. Nope, I like berry. Let's do the berry. Melon Mambo, not berry. One of the most popular techniques is that you can use the Stampin' Right markers, which are water-based, to color on your stamp and get different colors. So this is all one stamp with the flowers, the leaf, and the stem, and you can color them with the different Stampin' Right markers that are water-based. Now you don't want to do this with the Stampin' Blends because the Stampin' Blends dry quickly and they're just going to stain your stamp because they're an alcohol marker. Now the technique of using the markers on stamps like this never has really worked very well with photopolymer because the ink always pooled up and it just never looked right. Let me do a quick test and show you what this looks like. I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper. Now always, because the ink it does not dry as fast as the Stampin' Blends, but it does dry fairly quickly. I always give it a little and breathe on it to re-moisten that ink before I stamp. So you get that multicolor image using the markers on the stamp. So really, if you have Stampin' Right markers, you have like lots of different ink colors right there built in. However, the marker technique with the Stampin' Right markers never really worked well on photopolymer stamps. Like it always just beat it up and it didn't look right. So because Stampin' Right markers are used a lot for that technique, they have decided, since we're not going to have red rubber, that that's another reason to get rid of the Stampin' Right markers, or maybe the reason. One of the reasons. Again, sales have shown that the Stampin' Right markers just aren't as popular and don't sell as much as the Stampin' Blend markers. Hold on, I got a little prompt coming up here on my computer wanting me to restart it. Okay. And let's see, there's another question. DRC says, do you think that Stampin' Up! Will bring back the photopolymer stamp cleaner? We did, for one brief year, have a special cleaner pad that was designed for photopolymer, and it worked beautifully. It took red stains off and everything. I don't know why they discontinued having that as an option, so I don't know the answer as to whether or not they will bring it back. I don't know if it was a sales thing or if there was some other kind of manufacturing reason that they stopped having that. I guess we'll see. In the meantime, they do recommend using the Stampin' Chamois for cleaning photopolymer stamps. And if you're using Stays On ink, using the Stays On cleaner to clean that Stays On ink off your stamps. Okay, so again, if you don't have the Stampin' Right markers, grab them now. All of the colors, when I checked the other day, were available in the last chance list. And the in-color ones, the 2025 to 2027 in-color ones, are on sale because we've got the Save 15% sale going on right now with the in-color products happening in August, and that does include the Stampin' Right markers. So if you want to get your markers, grab them now. They are a fantastic product, just something that Stampin' Up! Is going to stop selling. Okay, our last announcement, I know they just really threw it all out there. The last announcement is regarding packaging, and I think this is probably the one that has the most people a little bit upset. Although So I have mixed feelings about it. Our current packaging right now is that we have this DVD style case with the artwork on the front and the spine. And then we have stamp cases like this for the, not stamp cases, sleeves, plastic sleeves like this for the dies. Now the new sleeves are going to be a little bit different. They have more of an angled flap, and they tuck in instead of this part, which never worked quite right, but it does have a new kind of flap. It's really easy. And so the new kind of packaging is that the stamps, instead of being in the DVD style case, the stamps will now also come packaged in the sleeve. And so you'll have packaging that's exactly the same size for your dies and your stamps. And a new improvement is that the dies will now have artwork, so you can see what all the dies look like and what they're going to die cut. This is a sneak peek of a brand new set coming out in November. It's called Petals of Beauty. It is a stamp set. It kind of looks like it has those distinctive details. So I'll be excited to play with that. And then some dies that go with it. You can see how they are going to store so much flatter and take up a lot less room. Again, this change had lots of years of planning and research into stamp storage and the whole thing. I know I'm seeing some of your comments. Some of you are not so thrilled about the new packaging. I too like to read the spines to find my stamp sets and especially look at the images when I'm looking on my shelf. So I'm definitely going to have to kind of change up how I store my new stamps. I was brainstorming with some other stampers and we talked about having a list alphabetically of the stamps. So not a list, but a box or a basket alphabetically. You can also, I think a fun idea is to store them by theme. So having all of your greetings together, having all of your holiday or Christmas stamps together, having all of your nature stamps, I'm sure there are so many different themes that you could organize by. And I think that would help to make it a little easier. Now, if you really, really, really don't like the new packaging for your stamps, Stampin' Up! Will continue to sell the empty stamp cases, and so you can still store them. You will have to add a slip here with the name, and you won't necessarily have the artwork, which is one of my favorite things about looking at the spine. But you still will have the option, if you would like your new stamps, to match in packaging the old style with the DVD cases. They will kind of phase in this new packaging as they sell out of the old packaging. So with the photopolymer stamps, they are a little slimmer. They don't take up as much room. They're not as thick as the clear rubber, and so that's why they're moving to the sleeve. So we'll never see we'll never see the red rubber stamps in these packages, but the photopolymer stamps, as they are selling out in the DVD cases, they're just going to automatically switch over to the new style packaging. So throughout the next 9 months, you may get stamps that are in the DVD package, you may get some stamps that are in the new envelope, and you may get some of the same in the same order. Oh, I love that. Janice says she already sorts her stamps by theme. That's such a great idea. Cheryl says she has a boatload of empty boxes. Do you mean like these boxes, these cases? Oh, she took some videos of how I store. Oh, yes, I love that. You'll definitely have to share those stills. I'd love to see how you organize. We'll have to do a whole post in the Facebook group, and you guys can share how you organize your stamps, and we can get ideas, because I know a lot of other stamp companies have their stamps come in sleeves, and so there are many ways to store your stamps. I know, Twyla, we're definitely, gonna have to see if we like it. Unfortunately, there's not much of a choice. Like I said, you can repackage the new stamps in the DVD style if you really like that. And I recognize that you have lots of stamps already, and you're not going to necessarily repackage them in the new system. So I think we'll just have some that are in the new packaging and some that are in the old. And change is always an adjustment. Oh, Sherry says she uses the Dewey Decimal System. Are you serious? Do you really use a number system like that to organize your stamps? Donna says she and her sister sent suggestions to Stampin' Up, asking them to provide downloadable art to use in a DVD case. I love that idea, so that we can continue to put them in DVD cases. I think that lots of people sharing that feedback might make an impact. But I know at this point, they do not necessarily have a plan to reduce or to reproduce and make available DVD style artwork for the new stamps. But definitely the more people who suggest it, the more likely it is that they may consider something like that. Jessica says, I like the reduction in plastic, but it's hard to change. I know, it is so hard to change. I would love a quick survey in here in the chat. Tell me how long you've been stamping. Not necessarily with Stampin' Up, just stamping total. I have been a Stampin' Up demonstrator for 23 years. I've been stamping stamping as an adult for 24 years? 23 years. I've been stamping for 24 years, and I used to stamp when I was 10 years old. And so I have a small collection somewhere of some wooden stamps that I got way back when. So I've been stamping for many, many years, and it is hard to change. But sometimes I think about everything that's changed with paper crafting in the last 23 years. And oh my goodness, I was at Mom's house helping her, and she had some old magazines and some old catalogs and some old idea books. And I was flipping through them. I'm like, what could we still get from these ideas? And oh my gosh, it was amazing to see how the style of our card making and our crafting and our scrapbooking has changed in 20 years and 25 years, even in the last 10 years, even the last 5 years. I feel like we've had so many changes, good and bad, because I was a fan of wood mount stamps. I did love, I loved that handle. I loved having them ready to go and not having to have a bunch of blocks. But I love having dies, which we didn't have 25 years ago. I love how the dies have changed over the years and become more intricate and dynamic. I love being able to use a die to cut out a box instead of using a paper template and an X-Acto knife. So there's been lots of good changes over the years, and it's hard to make a change when we're used to something. But I do think that all of these changes are going to be okay. Like, we're going to be okay, and we're going to get through it. So that's it for the changes. If you guys have more questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm so excited to see how long you guys have been stamping. Just before COVID, says Twyla. Alita, 24 years. Mesa, 25 years. I love that. She said her mom brought her to her first stamping event when she was a teenager. Yes, Katie says when she was around 8 or so for 30 years. Yes, yes, yes. Kimberly was a hobby demo for 5 years, stamping about 10-ish. Scrapbooking first. That's changed a lot, hasn't it? Sharon says 5 years. That must have been around COVID. Oh, Janice says she started when I lived near her over in Springfield, probably just after I had Thomas, which was 22 years ago. He's going to be 22 this year. Do you believe that? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm loving to see all of your comments. We've been stamping a long time, many of us, and so we've seen a lot of changes, and it's going to be okay. Let me see. I see a question in here. Susan asks, are the stamp pads changing to close to my heart style? I have no knowledge of a imminent change to that style. I do know that we've had some ink pad changes over the years. And from what I remember, the last time Stampin' Up! Had an ink pad change, there was some kind of like dies or molds or whatever that they created for the ink pads when they were creating them. And it was something like these dies or molds were good for like 5 years. And then they either were going to make the same kind of mold or die to use more, or they were going to make changes. And so we saw some changes a few years ago, and I don't remember the timeline, so don't quote me on that. I know that the ink pad style from Close to My Heart is something that Stampin' Up! Has acquired through this transition. The mold or the rights or, you know, the plans or, you know, whatever that's called. Now, when and whether they actually change over to the Close to My Heart style when it's time for those new molds or whatever, I don't know. I don't know the answer, whether that's a yes or no. I don't know about the timing of when that might happen, but I do think that it could be likely. And I am not familiar with the Close to My Heart style ink pad, but I'm not a fan of ours. I feel like the lip is too small and I feel like it's hard to open. So I would welcome a new ink pad change. And again, that's something that may take some time. It's not something that would happen right away. So we'll see, I guess, on that. I don't have any news right now regarding an ink pad change. Sherry is, I'm so glad. She says, I like the changes. I know Heather commented earlier that she likes some of the changes too. Yes. Cheryl is saying that the rights could just be to keep anyone else from taking them and producing them. You are absolutely right. So I just don't know whether or not they will do anything with that, or if not. But Sharon says we need a more ergonomic. I can't say that word. Ergonomic ink pad. I agree. Absolutely. So I think it's very possible that we'll see ink pad changes, but I don't know when, and I certainly don't have any insider information. So that is not any kind of official word from Stampin' Up. Yes, Sherry says she's been a demo a long time and is okay with the change to ditch the DVD cases. I think there was one of the home office people was saying, oh, it's so easy to flip through them. And I was like, sure, if you just have like 12, it's easy to flip through them. But when you have like 100 stamp sets, it's not that easy. So like I said, I know we'll adapt. You know, we are adaptable as stampers. I think that is very much the case. All right, well, let's keep chatting. If you have questions, please keep them coming. And I will say one last note about the storage, because I just saw someone say, DRC says, just as long as they fit in the current storage system. And I'm not sure which storage system you're talking about. I don't think Stampin' Up! Has a storage system necessarily for these. However, they did mention in the video that they specifically have sized these to be consistent with other Stampin' Die packaging from other companies, so that other storage solutions will work for our new packaging. Oh, the ink pads. Yes, I see what you're saying. So, you know, I have no news about the ink. I am not making any announcement about ink pads, so I just want to make that clear. I'm not speaking on behalf of Stampin' Up. I have no knowledge about any kind of ink pad change, though I personally would welcome such a change. Sherry says more bothered by the markers going away. I kind of had a feeling that this was coming, just because, well, I did get a survey. Like I said, they do survey customers and demonstrators about products. And this was a survey I got a while ago, actually, about, you know, how much do you use the markers? How much do you use the Stampin' Blends? You know, that kind of thing. And it really made me realize, like, yeah, I almost never reach for them. I don't really use them that often. So I'm not surprised that they're going away, but if you love them, keep using them. I think that's the grand thing. Even when things go on the last chance list, that's such a wonderful thing, is that, like, for your own personal stamping, you can use whatever you want. If you want to keep using the markers, keep using the markers. If you don't have them yet and you love that style, grab them up. Now's the time. So speaking of last chance, I am making some cards with you tonight using the City Sites kit. This is one of our kits collection. I love these all-inclusive kits. If you're joining a little bit late, I've not been feeling well today, and so I almost canceled the video, and I just decided, no, we're gonna do this, but I'm just gonna do a kit. And so tonight I pulled out this kit because I just ordered it off the last chance. And you guys, this kit is $10.50. It includes materials to make 8 cards, and you get this stamp set with a city line and this little dotted, that kind of fits with the city. That could be like stars, I guess, or just the sky. It totally reminds me of like Gotham cities. You can make like a Batman card or something. But what I love about the kits collection is that it's all inclusive. So if you are going on vacation, or if you just need to make some cards, then you can get out a kits collection and you can just make it and not have to think about it. And tonight is one of those nights I just needed to just not think about it, and I just needed to open it up and do it. So that's what we're doing. We're going to make these cards up. They're super quick. This one does have stamps that we're going to use, but the stamps don't include greetings. So there are pre-printed greetings that say thinking of you. And because Stampin' Up! Is a global company, we're seeing these greetings in other languages as well. So let's see if you recognize. I was gonna say je pense toi, but I don't think I could pronounce the other ones, and I'm not even going to try. But we got some French, we've got some German and Dutch as well. So if you have international friends and want to send a card in their language, how fun is that to be able to just change out your greeting? But this kit does work for everybody in all of our markets, and so I think that's really awesome. So thinking of you today, and then the other pre-printed greeting is in here somewhere. We'll get some other little die cuts. We're gonna stamp the city on those. And this one, oh my gosh, I just turned my head. I've been trying so hard all day to look forward, be still, and not like, you know, make any sudden moves, you know, not bending down. This vertigo is really getting me. Oh, it goes like this. I was so confused because I was like, that's a weird skyline. that's the skyline. We're still looking. This kit includes envelopes. Excuse me. It includes pre-printed cards with skyline. And I think this is just such a nice kit for masculine cards. Sometimes I have a hard time making cards for the guys in my life, and so I think this is such a good kit for that. So this says happy birthday. So we've got happy birthday and thinking of you today, but of course if you want to make your cards with different sentiments, you could always turn them over and use the other side if you need a thank you card or congratulations or something like that. I want to make sure that I keep up on your comments. So let me just scroll back up here and make sure that I'm answering everything. Heather says, I heard the new cases are taller. And yes, they showed a comparison in one video that I watched, and I want to say it was like the stamp or the die cases currently like go right there. So they are a little bit taller than our current cases, our current sleeves. But I think that they were about the same width. Okay, more questions. Let me answer these. Oh, interesting. Janice says she's had problems with the stamps not stamping clearly. I'd love to hear more about that sometime, Janice. We'll have to chat. Cheryl is suggesting, Janice, using a mat, which is always a good option. Our Stampin' Pierce mat is a nice foam pad that works really well to cushion your stamps. If you're not using one, you could also just use something thick like our Stampin' Up catalog, the annual catalog, to put underneath your paper. Try doing that, especially if you're working on a table that is not solid wood. Like if you're working on a folding table or something like that that has a little bit of give, sometimes that can affect your stamp images. So good thought, Janice, Cheryl trying to put something underneath. Katie's hoping those markers go on sale. I think that's just going to be a matter of how fast they sell. So if they don't sell, our next last chance update is going to be not August, September, October. So October 1st is going to be the next last chance update. If the markers are still around, then I would guess that we'll see a little discount on them at that time. And oh, that's a good idea. DRC is suggesting trying to use Versamark ink before you ink it up with the colored ink, and sometimes that helps to get a good image. It also helps to reduce staining. Sherry says she only uses the black marker, but they do have a black journaling marker. It's actually out right now, that can replace the black marker for a lot of the things you probably use it for already. Aline is asking when all the original cases start to crack. She says when all the original cases started to crack, she bought the larger cases and combined the stamps in them. And she likes the smaller packaging. I think that, it's going to make it easier to fit a lot more in a smaller stamp space. Yeah, Donna, I know she's pointing out some things about the photopolymer stamps, that it can tear and they can stain and they have to be kept out of direct sunlight. I would even keep them out of the direct light here. I have lights right over my desk, and I try not to keep my stamps out, or I cover them because they are photosensitive. That is how they are produced. They're called photopolymer because they are created by exposure to light, which is a fun little process. I had some pictures on Facebook, I think, at one time when I toured the facility. It was really neat to see. Tags the kids. Yeah. Cheryl is saying she's a very frugal person. And so all of these that have the different languages, turn them over absolutely and use those die cut pieces as tags that you can stamp on for other projects. I did that for a while, and then I forgot and I never used them. Oh, that's really interesting. DRC is saying that she knows some other people that are having vertigo today. Isn't it strange? I do wonder. It just like came on so suddenly. I don't usually ever have any problems with vertigo. So Sherry, 5 3/4 by 9 inches. Is that the size of the new one? That sounds about right. So it must be. Kids Fun Foam is another good option. You're right, Sherry, like that you can get at the craft store, craft foam. The grid mat is a good option as long as it's thick. If it's a little thinner, you may be not getting enough of the cushion. Janice, if you've been using it up. Oh, Sharon says she uses the seasonal catalog. Okay, I think I got through all the questions, but keep them coming as we're stamping. And I have a sneak peek for you guys. Let's make a couple cards. I'm going to show you the current kits that just came out, and then you'll want to stick around because I have a sneak peek of a new kit that's coming in September. And I'm really excited because Stampin' Up! Is featuring this new kit for their World Card Making Day that they are having this year. So World Card Making Day is the first Saturday of the month. This year it's going to be the first Saturday of October, not of every month, although we should make that a thing. So the first Saturday in October is World Card Making Day, and Stampin' Up! Is going to have an event, as they do every year. It's free. I don't think I've seen the registration post just yet, but they are starting to share information about saving the date. Their event is going to be in the afternoon. It's a couple hours with some presentations from the Stampin' Up! Home office and a little stamp along with this brand new kit that's coming out in September. So you're going to be able to order this new kit starting September 3rd, 4th, whenever the catalog starts, which is the 3rd. So September 3rd, you're going to be able to start to order this new kit that will be featured during World Card Making Day. So you're going to want to order it because it looks amazing. I know it's going to be on my list, so I want to tell you about it so you can plan for it. This kit comes with Pebbled Path ink. Pebbled Path is one of the ink colors that retired, but I loved this this dark gray. It was such a nice color, a nice neutral. And so all of the kits collection that has stamps in it, they always come not only with an ink spot, but also a block. So you can, in fact, I should be using the block that it comes with. You can use this block over and over again. And so you might have quite a collection of blocks if you get a lot of kits that have stamping in them. So we are going to use the Pebbled Path ink spot and ink up our little skyline here. And we've got 4 die cuts that this is going to fit onto. And so one of the things I love about photopolymer is being able to see exactly where you're stamping, because you can line it up just perfect like that. That's something I think has been so hard with the cling. And we used to have 2-step stamps in the cling, and gosh, it just seemed like it was so impossible to line them up. Or we used to have the stamp positioning tool, and that helped for sure. But it's so much easier with the photopolymer when you can see right through them. Twyla's too dizzy today. Yeah, I don't know. the weather seemed like it was beautiful. I was gonna go for a walk first thing this morning. It was pleasant. It wasn't too hot yet early. I had all kinds of plans, a big list of things to do, and didn't happen. I muddled through. I had some stampers over this morning. I almost canceled them because I wasn't feeling good, but we made some cards, and the rest of the day I was just kind of out of it. We'll see. Like I said, I did try, I tried this maneuver, this thing to try to reset those crystals in my ear, and hopefully that will help a little bit. I already feel a little bit better, just still a little bit woozy, not as dizzy as I was this morning. I just like, oh my gosh, I've never felt like that before in my life. I just felt like my head was spinning. It was crazy. Okay, this one, the next stamp, and I actually don't have my chamois clean, so I'm just gonna get another block out. The next stamp is this sort of like detail, and it does kind of fit that skyline, which I think is really cool. But we are going to use it on this card and just add some detail there, I guess. So I should have a, I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna stamp. And by the way, the kids collection comes with instructions step by step that are gonna show you exactly what to do, exactly what kind of adhesive to use. And so if this is your first time stamping, is using a kit collection, you've got everything you need, all the instructions to create your project, which I think is just so cool. So this just adds a little texture, a little detail here. DRC, maybe my big to-do list is making me sick. I have a big to-do list, I feel like, every day, so that's probably not it, but it just makes it worse. You know, it's like whenever you need something to work, it doesn't. Like my printer. My printer's usually pretty reliable unless like I'm in a hurry and I really need to print something fast, and then it's like, no, I'm just not going to print for any mysterious reason. I always think that always happens, right? Or just when I need to get on Zoom, it's like, oh, I'm going to update and download a new version. Not right now. I just need to get on. Okay. So we've got our stamping done, easy peasy stamping. These cards are quick and easy, and I do love a quick and easy card. Now, the way I like to store my kit collection stamps, sometimes I just put them in a little zipper bag here. It doesn't quite fit to seal, and so I use my... reaching for one. I use the clear envelopes, and they fit really nicely in here, and they seal up. And so I guess I already have like my own little collection of flip stamps from paper pumpkin kits. In fact, I just was making up my paper pumpkin cards. What do I do with those? Nope, I'm not going to lean over and get it from the floor. Anyway, I just did my paper pumpkin that came last weekend. It's such a cute one. The cards are also on the floor, so I'm not leaning down. Sorry. I love the texture of these pieces. Some of the kits really have a lot of dynamic pieces to it, even though it's a kind of clean and simple design. I just think it's kind of fun to have a printed background, to have some kind of textured, layered pieces. This one includes embellishments. So I just think they're kind of fun. And again, did I say it already? This kit is $10.50. It is last chance, so it's while supplies last. Don't wait. If you like this kit, make sure that you go over to the store and grab it up right away. The kit includes adhesive. This kit included tear and tape and Stampin' Dimensionals. And if you're not sure, you can use the guide here, and it will tell you exactly which adhesive to use on each piece. So, for example, our card number 2 in the book, but the one that I'm doing, we are going to first attach the... Interesting. Why isn't it showing the... Oh, no, oh, Okay, it's saying Stampin' Dimensionals. I would have just used the regular tear and tape on that, but okay. I do notice the Stampin' Dimensionals in the kits tend to be slightly thicker than Stampin' Dimensionals in the regular Stampin' Dimensionals. So I often swap them out and use my regular ones, or sometimes I don't keep my kit ones, which I know just seems like a waste. Uh-oh. DRC, I'm so sorry your paper pumpkin kit is delayed. Sometimes that happens, but Stampin' Up is so good about taking care of that and sending out a new one. Now, just a quick note, the paper pumpkin kits have changed a little bit. Not the kits themselves, the subscription of them has changed. And in recent months, a few months ago, they switched over from paperpumpkin.com to stampinup.com, and there's a new tab for subscriptions. And so the change though is that you have to be you cannot skip the first month. So I used to say, oh, if you want to get some of those past kits or refills, you could subscribe and buy your kits and refills and then unsubscribe. And you still can do that, except that you will get the first kit on your subscription. So Stampin' Up no longer allows that little loophole. So just make a note, if you do decide to subscribe, you cannot skip the first kit in your subscription, but you can skip other months after the first kit. So just a little FYI about that. I do love the paper pumpkin kits. I like the kits collections too. If I had to choose one, I would choose the kits collection because you see exactly what you're getting. You know what it's going to look like, and I think that that is ideal. So, a little plug for the kits collection. This month in August, we had 3 new kits, and 2 of them were card kits, and one of them is a home decor. It's like an autumn leaf garland, and I haven't made it yet, but it looks so pretty. I'm gonna have to figure out how to hang it up behind me so you guys can see it. Sherry, good question. Sherry's asking if I do my paper pumpkin as is or if I do alternative projects. And this time for the August kit, I thought that it would be kind of tricky to make the, oh, I need to put dimensionals on these too. I thought the designs were kind of tricky to make alternative designs with because they were such specific pieces. I made them up exactly as they were designed, and honestly, I've been doing that a lot lately. I used to do alternatives all the time, and mostly I'm just creating them as they are because I feel like they just have gotten better and better, and I just don't feel the need to make alternative designs, because the whole idea for me with the kit is that it's easy and it's already designed. Like, that's what I love. That's what I love about the kit, is that it's already designed and I can just, I don't have to think about it. Like, I can skip right to the fun of just making a card. I think that's their tagline too, right? But I also love the creative challenge of coming up with new ideas, and looks like I want to come right here close to the top edge, and then I'll put the greeting over it. I know some of you say like, oh, I'm gonna wait and not do my kit until I see the other projects in case I like them more. And so for that, I would say make your kit as it is, and then if you see alternative projects and you like the way that those look, then you can always get a refill and make even more cards. The refill kits usually come out on the last Tuesday of the month in which the kit is released. So we should be seeing the August kit refills next week, I think. I'm adding some of these dots, and I have finished card 1, which is card 2 in the instructions. I always like to go like assembly line. So I do all my adhesive, I do all my stamping, I do all my, you know, each individual element, and then put it all together. Yeah, usually when I want to get creative and make something special, I'm usually getting out my other stamps to do that. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with creating. I like that better up there. There's nothing wrong with creating alternative projects, and there are some really amazing alternative projects out there. I've had a lot of fun. In fact, for the 12 Days of Christmas, one of the gifts was the Charming Days paper pumpkin kit refill, and so for that video I shared some alternative projects. I think that was the June kit, May kit, June kit. I think it was the June kit. And I used to create alternative projects all the time, and I don't know, I just kind of, like I said, I just like them more and more and more, and just feel less of a need to do that. But no stress, right? That is definitely the key part of this kind of experience. I like to call it like a curated crafting experience, because everything is designed. You've got all your pieces. They're often like, you know, die cut pieces ready to go. Do a little bit of stamping, put it together. Like if you wanted to, you could move things around and kind of make it your own, do your own thing, cut it apart, or make more cards out of it. But if you are just looking for quick and easy crafting to make up some cards, then these kits collection and paper pumpkin are so perfect for that. Before I do the second card, let's take a look at these kits for August that came out. There were 3 of them, and you'll find them in the online store right now. There's the Bunch of Thanks kit, and these cards are so cute. They are a little bit small, so they're smaller than like a regular card, but they still fit in that frame, and they're going to fit into a regular envelope, which comes with the kit. This kit is a shaped card, so it has like a little bouquet wrapping. Thanks a bunch for your love and support. And then the other one is very similar. It has different flowers, and there are a few different sentiments in there as well, but it's kind of has the thankful, grateful kind of greetings in them. So this one's called Thanks a Bunch. I want to say there are enough materials to make 4 of each of these cards, and this one does include stamps, which I love. And then the other card kit is called Brighten Your Day, and this is one of those that like it does not do it justice, the photos on the computer. So you have to see these. They are so gorgeous. We've got these laser cut pieces. Now this one makes, I want to say 9 cards, 3 each of 3 different designs. Yeah, I don't think it's 6 cards, but look at these envelopes. It almost has like a canvas kind of quality, really beautiful quality, printed in colors, and both sides here in that watercolor background. A nice quality card base too, which I really like. These are pre-printed greetings. So we've got the birds with just a little note. The flowers say, hoping this brightens your day. Gorgeous. And this one says, you make the world a better place. These laser cut pieces are kind of a vanilla color, and all the cardstock and envelopes have that beautiful texture on them. One of my favorite new kits. This one is gorgeous. And so if you're just looking for some really elegant cards, these would be gorgeous to make and send, but I think this would also make such a beautiful gift to make a set of these cards to give to someone as a gift. I think they would absolutely love that. This one is called Brighten Your Day. The item number is in the video description. I don't have it written down in front of me right now, but you can find it there and in the online store with the kits collection. All right, let's make up these cards. We're almost done here, and then I'm going to show you a brand new kit that's coming out in September. that I haven't been able to order yet. I've just seen the picture, and it is so cute, and it's going to be for World Card Making Day, so I'm excited about that. All right, so our last card is this one. Just looking at my reference here for adhesive. So we're going to use the tear and tape on the back of all of these pieces and dimensionals on the back of the big circles. And I don't know if it's these lights making me so hot, but I think I'm ready for some couch time. Let's get these done. I'm gonna take a quick drink. All right, I've been watching the comments. I didn't see any other comments necessarily about questions that you had. But I would love for you guys to tell me of the kits I just showed you that just came out. I guess I didn't show you a close-up of the Harvest Home Garland. Okay, give me a quick vote on this. Bunch of thanks. So you can say flower bouquet or laser cut, or check out this leaf garland. These are all paper leaves, foil. There's some different textures in there too, with 3D acorn elements. Really gorgeous. And I forgot what we said that the length of that was. We talked about that in another video. And I think we were talking about inches, and I oh, I got it all messed up, but I think we were saying it was 5 feet or something like that, 5.5 feet. The laser cut ones, I know, they're so pretty. Thank you, Donna. 6 feet for the garland. I think that one's my favorite too. The shaped card is cute. It's kind of small to write on, honestly, but it is really whimsical and fun. And there was I was at Mom's house, and she had a class, and there was a younger stamper who was new, and she was so excited about that kit. That was like right up her alley. She just thought that was so fun and different. Okay, these little dimensionals, I'm so glad they put the little ones in here, because to fit in this little right here in this little narrow spot, it's kind of a tight fit, so the big ones definitely weren't going to fit there. What seems like so much work, Katie? Is it the garland? I think I felt that way about the haunted house or haunted home or whatever that kit is. By the way, if you are looking for some Halloween decor, that haunted home kit, last time I checked, it was still available. I guess I should I shouldn't say that it is if I don't know for sure, but that one seems like a lot of work to me. But I think a lot of those home decor ones do take a little bit more time, but they're not cards, so they're not necessarily going to be as quick and easy. So if you like the look of it, I think maybe worth it. And if you don't, then not. All right, I got a couple more, and then we're gonna get these. Thank you, Cheryl. The haunted home kit is available. And did they have to like make sure the name, like haunted house, I think is like a copyrighted name or something, isn't it? Like, I feel like it has something to do with Disney. I don't know why I think that, but I do think it has a very specific name to avoid those issues. Oh, Kathy's pointing out that Bunch of Thanks kit is on sale. That's right. It's part of the In Color sale. So it's 15% off this month in August because it has an In Color in it. I think there's some other kits that are on sale as well for the In Color sales. So be sure to just look at all of the kits collection to see the different options. All right, we're going to start with the circle. And that's going on with Stampin' Dimensionals, kind of right in the center of the card. Getting all these little paper backings off. And want to make sure my buildings aren't falling down. They're gonna they're gonna be upright. And then we're gonna add we're going to add the banner, and we're going to add the greeting, and we're going to add a couple dots. I love the dimension and the texture on this one. I'm seeing, like, I feel like you can see those little dots there. Like maybe they need to be cut in half or poked poked into submission. So great. I was gonna say so pretty, but I don't want to say pretty because I think it's so handsome. Such a handsome card. A dapper card. We were using that word earlier. The kids are going through some of their toys for a garage sale this weekend, and I was being quizzed on the names of some of these dolls that they have down there, and so it was hard. I don't know. I did okay, but then I was quizzing them to guess the color names of the new ink colors, and so that was kind of fun. I was giving them some clues, describing what the color looked like. I think it'd be fun to name a new in color. I know it's going to be a little while before we have new in colors. We're not going to have new colors until the springtime, but what is a color that you would like to see Stampin' Up! Add to the color collection? Is there a color you feel like is missing that we need more of? And bonus points, what would you name that color? Ooh, that's tricky, isn't it? I think we need a light green. I really hope to see that soon. I love Old Olive, but I want something just like a shade lighter than that. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. The alternative, Haunted Mansion. Thank you, Cheryl. It's copyrighted. I have seen people turn the haunted home or haunted house or whatever kit into a Christmas house and decorate it a little differently. So I think they use like the other side with just the plain brown cardboard and make like a gingerbread house. Oh my gosh, so fun. So that is an option with that kit. You can use it to make a different kind of house if you're not into Halloween. That's not something I usually decorate for, so Halloween's not my thing. I mean, I'm not opposed to Halloween, but I just don't I don't do a lot for Halloween. I don't decorate. I used to when the kids were younger, but I don't know. Just not making. One more card. We're almost done. A purple that's a bit deeper than Gorgeous Grape. Ooh, I love that. Oh, Cheryl's saying pale green could be perfect pistachio. We had a pistachio color. I think it was called Pale Pistachio. Does that sound right? Sweet Pea Green. We gotta have alliteration with the color names. So if you did Sweet Pea Green, I don't know, what would be, you could call it Sweet Sugar Snap. Oh, or something like that. That'd be cute. I'm sure you guys noticed that, right? Alliteration with Stampin' Up! Colors where they have two words that start with the same letter, right? So Gorgeous Grape and Pebbled Path. I know, yes. Keep Secret Sea, bring back Pebbled Path. I am with you there, Sherry. I love Pebbled Path. That's the color I used tonight. This the color of this circle here, the happy birthday, is Pebbled Path. It's like a cross between gray and brown, and I just think it's such a great neutral color. a few dimensionals left, which I'm going to toss, and a few embellishments left if you want to save them for another project. But we are all done creating. This one is called City Sites, and $10.50 in North America, or in the US anyway. I don't know what the price is in Canada. Not $10.50, I'm sure. But it comes with enough to make 8 cards, 4 of each design. They're so, let's switch them like that. They're so quick and easy. Great for masculine cards. So let me know what you think about this kit. Yay or nay? Do you like the City Sites kit? I think the stamps are fun to use for other cards later. And I'll store them with my other little photopolymer kit stamps. They need additional category of dark colors, darker than Regals. Ooh, that's intriguing, Susan. Oh yeah, soft suede was a good one. I missed that too, Cheryl. Periwinkle Puff, says Donna, another natural white color. I like basic beige. Do you use that a lot, Alita? That's a newer color to the core collection. And it's really more this color, I guess. So it's not really a natural white, but Marigold Morning, certainly celery. That was a good one. Yes, Mesa, I love that one. Pistachio pudding, that's what it was. Katie, I love it. Okay, look at all your colors. You can keep leaving them in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, leave them in the replay. Now, I forgot to write down the name of this kit. Forgive me. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of a new kit that's coming out in September. And this is the kit that is going to be what Stampin' Up! Highlights for World Card Making Day. This is going to come out in September. I believe there is enough materials to make 10 cards. And maybe there's 2 each of 5 different designs. I love this. We've got some sentiments. It looks like it comes with a stamp set. I'm not totally sure. Hello, Sunshine. Thinking of you. Wishing you the best. Happy birthday. Thanks so much. It's kind of a great all occasions stamp set, but one of my favorite things about it is this desk organizer. I think that looks super fun, and I love that it has that little extra bonus. So look for this kit coming out September 3rd, and make sure that you add it to your wish list and get it in September so that you'll be ready for World Card Making Day. I'm going to put the name of this kit and the item number for you in the video description so you can add that to your list. I'm sorry that I forgot to write it down for you, but I know, isn't it cute? I think that rainbow one is my favorite. I also love the cute little birds, and this one with a happy birthday. I think these kits look like they have a lot of great dynamic elements, a lot of dimension, a lot of things to add to the top. We have both embellishments and some twine in there too. I think it's so cute. This is totally my kind of kit, and I think it's going to be so much fun. So wish list, add this on, get ready to order September 3rd. I think it's going to be $32, but it's going to have all those all the cards, and then that great little desk organizer, which I just think is so much fun. Sharon says she's made her own desk organizer, but maybe you'll need to organize something else on your desk with this one. Okay, well, I am going to wrap it up tonight. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I always feel a little bit better when we get to share some time stamping together. And even though I'm not a licensed therapist, it is a little stamp therapy for me. Thanks for chatting with me. I hope if you have any other questions about the product changes that are happening, that you will leave a comment, let me know, reach out. I'm happy to talk through them with you. I truly think that even though change is hard, it's always for the best. And I know that Stampin' Up! Always, when it plans any of its changes, does so with lots of planning and research, and always with all of us in mind, truly, even though it doesn't always feel like that. Kathy's asking if they are smaller than typical. I think you're asking about the cards. I actually don't know that. They look to me like they're regular size cards, but I haven't seen the kit in person yet, so I'm not sure. Thank you all for the wishes. I am going to go rest now and hopefully feel a little bit better tomorrow and kick this vertigo to the curb. Have a wonderful evening yourself, and also this coming weekend, Mom and I are going to be on Sunday, of course, with our Sunday stamping videos. This week we are showcasing the Coneflower, I think it's Coneflower Celebrations bundle from the annual catalog. So I'm excited to play with that one. I got to borrow it from Margot, and I have some really beautiful swaps and cards to share with you. So tune in on Sunday at noon. Hopefully I'll be feeling all better by then. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.